speak.
Woo!
Oh man, is that a fidget spinner? Good for you, dude.
It's my Mountain Dew fidget spinner.
Oh, I'm so happy for you. Does it come with a Call of Duty download loot box code?
Did.
Every time you spin it, an angel gets their wings. Or some kid gets a loot box somewhere. That's what happens.
And with that, welcome everybody to Fortress Comic News, episode 66. I'm one of your hosts, Chris.
Mike. We're almost. That's like you're missing 1/6 to be an Iron Maiden song.
We got a few years.
Yeah,
but we'll get there.
I don't know if I've told this story on the air, but I was once playing. It was my younger years. I was like, I don't know. I had to be 13 or 14. Just discovered the greatness that is Iron Maiden. I'm blasting Number of the Beast in my bedroom, rocking out, and gets to the part of the lyrics of Number of the Beast where he's like, "Satan's work shall be done." And like all my mom heard was like Satan, so she comes like barging in my room like, "Did they just say Satan?" And I was like, "Yeah." I'm like, "But," and she's like, "I don't want you to listen to that music in my house anymore." I'm like, "But Ma, it's Iron Maiden." She's like, "No more." I'm like, "You don't understand. It's Iron Maiden. They're just telling a story.
Just happens to be about Satan."
They don't worship Satan. It's completely different. Yeah, she didn't want to hear that. So I went a while without listening to Iron Maiden in my bedroom.
Yeah, my father, growing up in the 60s and 70s, being a man who loved rock and roll and had long hair, was kicked out of many, many churches.
Yeah.
Accused of being a Satan worshiper. So I didn't have that experience growing up.
Dungeons and Dragons players for a while had a bad rep. For some reason, Dungeons and Dragons players got like caught up in the whole Satan worshipping and like, I don't know
It's
why.
been everything, man. Comics got caught up in that shit.
Yeah. The devil? You reading the devil? Actually, the book's called The Devilers, but yeah, sure. And here we are. We were going to have an interview this week, but
everybody forgot it was C2E2.
Yeah, it was C2E2 weekend. Our interviewer lost his voice, which is an acceptable thing because Chris and I went to a con on Saturday, and just for being there for a few hours, I almost lost my voice. So I was trying to do some covers of songs when I got home after on the guitar, and I was trying to sing, and it was like it wasn't hitting the notes. I don't know what was happening, but it definitely was not singing. All right, let's get into the thick of it. We're gonna have a nice, easy show today. No higher level thinking, just news, and we'll talk about Empire State Comic Con a little bit that happened this weekend. You still watching Krypton?
I am. I just watched the most recent episode this morning, actually.
I'm still not watching it yet. So how was it? This is episode 2, right?
It's episode 3, actually.
Episode 3?
I'm really enjoying it. It's its own kind of science fiction-y drama with a flair of DC Comics in it. You get to see the Superman symbol every so often, and Adam Strange is a main character, so that's fun.
Does he have a jetpack?
He does not have a jetpack. I'm sorry.
5 out of 10.
But Brainiac's the villain. He's really cool. They just kind of introduced the idea of Brainiac sending these little drones down to planets to take over somebody to learn about the planet.
Wow.
And
are they like little spiders?
They're like these little cube things, and they have tentacles. And
yeah, they have. Okay. If it's Brainiac, really, it has to have tentacles.
Yeah, so
that guy's watched way too much like hentai as a young robot. You're like, that's so right. How have I never thought about that before?
I just always enjoy a good hentai joke.
If you don't know what hentai is, kids, ask your parents. So, don't ask your parents. Don't ask your parents.
But yeah,
it was so
really
good.
good. Watch the show.
He's like, huh?
It's really good. Watch the show.
Yeah. And that was in reference to Krypton, not hentai.
Tomato.
Yeah, it's fine. So it's good. I'm glad. I keep meaning to try it. Just a show I'm forgetting about because I started watching Legends of Tomorrow again. Flash hasn't been new for a few weeks. I didn't realize it took such a long break.
Yeah, I'm not sure why.
I don't know either, because all the other shows are still coming out, like Gotham and everything. Walking Dead was interesting. We see. I thought it was pretty cool. We got to see that the scene with like the helicopter.
Yep.
And like, so there's more people out there, and if there's more people out there, maybe they're more sophisticated than what we've seen so far. Yeah, and I think the whole part where she like tied up Negan and was trying to do all this weird shit, I was like, why don't you just kill him? Like, I don't understand what she was trying to do. Like, maybe use him as bait and see like what they would do to him. I don't know.
Yeah, I was confused by that, but we did get that good little piece of information about Negan's wife.
Yeah,
which
and
was
how the bat was named after her.
Yeah, which was done in the comics, in the hit comic Here's Negan.
Yeah,
and I liked the whole situation with Rick and Morgan and how they went and basically just brutalized those people.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
Rick
they
has
like,
finally gone over the edge.
They're like, we could help you. They're like, we're not helping people anymore. Like, we gave you guys a chance. You were locked up. You didn't help us. You're dead.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see what happens and where this leads the story, because this is definitely a different Rick from the comic at this point in the story.
Yeah, this is like Commando Rick. And I think that's what people, I don't know, maybe that's what gets more viewers. It's like the Rambo style Rick, as opposed to like the Jesus style Rick. Like the very passive thing that he's doing now in the comics. Yeah, it's still enjoyable though. It hasn't trailed off for me yet.
Yeah, it started to pick back up ever since the lull that was Carl's death.
Yeah, it was kind of like just a slump there for a little bit. Still watching Legends of Tomorrow, just catching up on that. Those episodes are always good. I got to the part in Legends, I guess Wally West joins this season. I didn't know that. I'm still a few episodes behind, but like the end, like we haven't seen Rip Hunter in a while, and he shows up in like Japan, and Wally's like meditating in either Japan or China. He's like meditating, and he's like, "How'd you find me?" And he's like, "I need your help." So
I have an important question about that.
Yeah.
Does Wally have a different hairstyle?
He does.
Because every time you see Wally, he has a different hairstyle.
I never noticed that.
Yeah.
I think he had like a ponytail because he was in like Japan. I don't know. I guess I should pay attention to that more.
Yeah, it bothers me. Every time you see him, he has a different hairstyle. It was happening a lot in the Flash, and it was bugging me.
It was? Who notices that? Like, of all the things, like, you better show up with a different haircut. Oh,
no, I want him to stick to a haircut.
The episode is ruined.
Like,
I don't care what happens. They could, Batman could show up. It wouldn't like.
It would be ruined by Wally having another new hairstyle.
He's gonna show up with a mohawk pretty soon. Honestly, I don't notice that. I just, and maybe I just my lack of attention to detail. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, I'm still watching that. Ash vs. Evil Dead is gruesome and disgusting as usual. Other than that, for shows, nothing really crazy happening. I did see that there's a Lord of the Rings show optioned for HBO. Did you see that? It's like confirmed now.
I thought it was Amazon that was doing it.
Oh, I'm sorry, Amazon. Yeah, I know. I remember we talked about it before.
Yeah,
and I think it's a lot of people are saying it's like Amazon's approach to Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I'd heard all about it because we talked about it a little bit when it was announced initially. But yeah, they're sinking like something around $500 million into this,
which is like I'd have to check, but that's definitely way more than the first budget of the first Lord of the Rings movie.
That's feature film money.
Yeah, I'm sure it doesn't. It's not even going to put a dent in Amazon, but yeah, we'll see how this is received by people, I guess. Yeah, have you seen any movies lately? Have you watched anything?
Not really. Other than rewatching Last Jedi about 5 times.
Ninja Batman came out or is coming out soon. I saw the reviews are ridiculously good for it, so I'll definitely be watching that when it comes out. I want to go see it, A Quiet Place, that new horror movie that came out with John Krasinski.
Yeah, I guess it did really good in the box office.
Yeah, it's getting crazy good reviews, which is awesome to hear. I heard even Stephen King was like, "This is a horror masterpiece." I'm like, okay, Stephen King. Thanks.
Chill out, buddy.
Now I'm going to go see it. Yeah, so I guess hopefully that'll be the next movie I see. Yeah, I guess we're just into the comic news, huh?
Yes.
Right, moving right along. So we get an Infinity War event announced. Surprise, surprise, because it's happening around the time of Infinity War. Infinity
Wars.
Oh!
That's nice.
If I had to guess, the plot is there's going to be wars across the entire multiverse.
So we've had this Infinity Countdown book that's been really good. Well, the one issue has been really good. And everybody's been saying, like, what is it counting down to? And I've had a few people be like, it's not counting down to anything. That's the event. That's not how it works. So that creative team is going over and they're doing Infinity Wars. And surprise everybody, Thanos is involved.
Oh, man.
The creative team there is solid. I really like the first issue of the Countdown. So, I mean, I'm a sucker for event comics, whether it's DC or Marvel. So I'm in.
Yeah, we always go back to Batman Eternal, though. There was Batman Eternal.
That was a weekly.
And there was a Future's End. Yeah.
Those were weeklies. That's different.
Yeah,
like,
it was bad.
Weeklies. Okay, here's the thing with those. Like, yeah, out of those, only one of them was good, and it was the Earth 2, like Destruction Earth 2 book.
Yeah.
And the other two were really meh, but those were year-length weeklies. Those are tough to pull off.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about a 7-issue mini.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, though. You're right. Yeah.
I usually am.
I just still have a bad taste in my mouth from those.
I mean, we'll talk about it later, but how good was Dark Knight's Metal? And that was a big event book.
True. Yeah. Yeah, you do have a point. I guess they've kind of restored my faith in event books. But anyways, The Death of the Inhumans is coming from Donny Cates and Ariel Olivetti. Well, when I read the first part of this, like Death of the Inhumans, does anyone really care? But then the second part is Donny Cates is writing it, so now I kind of care.
Yeah, and it, great timing. Disney's buying Fox, and all of a sudden, this is happening, which they were building up the Inhumans forever, and now they're destroying them. And then the next book we're talking about is coming out. But Donny Cates, I'll check it out. Yeah, and
I mean, that goes without saying. The next thing, Fantastic Four is coming back with Dan Slott and Sarah Pichelli. We haven't seen a Fantastic Four book in a while, so maybe they were just waiting, for this deal to pan out with Fox, and then they were like, okay, now we can start pulling the trigger on all these titles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic Four, I'm really excited for. I kind of had myself hyped up for Chip Zdarsky to be the writer.
Yeah.
But that's not happening. Dan Slott, I can take or leave, but he's one of those guys, he's like Mark Waid. Like, Mark Waid at DC, he was that guy who knew, like, everything about DC. That's what Dan Slott is at Marvel. So I have faith that he'll do something. And Sarah Pichelli, I like her art, so hopefully it's going to be good.
Yeah. I'm just really excited. I'm not even excited for, like, the Marvel or DC news. I'm excited for something else coming up. Sam Humphries, Chris knows what it is. Sam Humphries is taking over Harley Quinn for DC. That doesn't affect me at all. Everybody who listens to the show,
Mike's super excited about this.
Yeah, don't know who Sam. I've never read any Sam Humphries stuff. Never really read Harley Quinn, so I can't really say anything about this news.
I like Sam Humphrey. I don't care for Harley Quinn, but
well, there you go.
I know people like Harley Quinn, and Sam Humphrey's a really good writer. So
yeah,
enjoy.
Well, that's good. I'm sure they'll buy the book for the writing. Catwoman ongoing. I'm sorry, I'm just very salty about Harley Quinn. Catwoman ongoing is coming from a writer / artist, Joel Jones. What a great name, Joel Jones.
It's a very Marvel name.
Yeah, it's ironic because they're working for DC.
Yeah.
But that's pretty cool. So back to the Harley Quinn. One of my peeves with her is not even like how she's depicted now, but it's just like there's so many strong female characters in the DC universe, and we're just always focused on Harley Quinn. There's Catwoman, obviously, is one of them. Poison Ivy, I think, could get her own book if she wanted. But now we're getting a Catwoman book, and I think this is a good time because Catwoman is like Tom King made Catwoman relevant again with his ongoing.
And I have a distinct feeling.
Yeah.
I have a distinct feeling that the marriage between Batman and Catwoman isn't going to end well.
Yeah. I think Batman's going to be the one who's going to be hurt by it. There's only one way to defeat Batman, and that's to be his I don't know, his crush or his lover. I think that's the only way.
This isn't in the news, but they had the DC panel at C2E2 today, and Tom King talked about the next arc after issue 50 when the wedding happens. And goddamn, is it a good idea, and I think you're gonna love it. It's
awesome.
It's Booster Gold coming to give Batman his wedding present, and let's just say it doesn't end well.
I mean, yeah, I've heard Booster Gold's coming, so I'm excited. And yeah, I mean, it's bound to happen. Batman's not allowed to be happy. We know this. I mean, he's Batman, so we'll see what happens. Yeah. Really cool news. Rick and Morty / D&D crossover event coming from Patrick Rothfuss, Jim Zub, and the artist is Troy Little. The funny part is Patrick Rothfuss and Jim Zub. Does anybody know who those names ring a bell for anybody? Huh? Anyone?
Jim Zub does some Marvel writing. Yeah,
but Patrick Rothfuss, I believe, I'm going to have to look this up. I don't want to... Hold on. I'm going to keep talking about why I look at Patrick Rothfuss really quick. But so I think this is a really good idea because of the Dan Harmon show. What is it called? Harmon Quest?
Yes.
That I've talked about before. And it's just like Rick and Morty, but it's animated D&D. Patrick Rothfuss is actually part of Acquisitions Incorporated. Yeah, I was right. Okay. He actually plays live D&D at all the PAX events. The Penny Arcade Expo, there's always a live D&D, and Patrick Rothfuss, who's a writer, is always part of that group. So I'm super excited. Like, two of my favorite things are coming together. Acquisitions Incorporated, always watch those live D&D sessions. That's what got me into D&D. They're absolutely hilarious. If you're always like on the fence about, oh, should I join a D&D group? It's a lot of fun. Watch Acquisitions Incorporated. Watch it live. They even have like a YouTube channel where they do a smaller group of people, but it's absolutely hilarious. They don't take it too seriously. Sometimes they build these like elaborate maps and little pieces and sets. The guy who actually does the live D&D for them is one of the writers for D&D. Chris Perkins, his name is. And it's just awesome because you have like the writer of the books DMing for them on stage, and it's just cool. So I'm really excited. Like, he knows his stuff about D&D. He knows his lore, and crossing over with Rick and Morty, like, come on. I'm excited.
I mimic everything you just said, and I think it's awesome that Jim Zub's a part of it because he's also writing a lot of the D&D books over IDW.
Yeah, so it's like, this is perfect. Yeah, so we're going to cut to some interviews that we did at Empire State Comic Con in Albany. And
if you've watched our YouTube channel, by the time this post, these have already been up on our YouTube channel, so feel free to skip past them if you've already watched them, but it's all the same ones that we posted there. And we'll talk about our experience at the con on the other side.
Hell yeah. Hey guys, Mike here again. With me I have Jim Whiting. Okay. Good to see you, Jim. He wants to talk to us about, Chris and I walked by, we saw Margot and it said Intergalactic Trash Collector. We felt obligated to talk about it with him. So you want to give us a quick rundown on what that is?
Margot Intergalactic Trash Collector is my book. I have 2 issues out. I have a 3rd issue coming out in June. It's about a girl who's a trash collector in space, really doesn't want the job, but she's got to do it, and somebody's got to go clean up the mess. So it's a sort of a sci-fi comedy. I've got 3 issues in the can, 3rd issue coming out in June. I've got I work with a couple of artists on alternative covers. I've funded on Kickstarter, and so I've been doing a bunch of shows locally. I've got a 3rd issue has a alternate cover by Joe Sinnett. FF46 recreation that'll be out next month. And a little Japanese model kit I modified to look like my Margot character.
Really cool.
I also work for Fanico Publications. I do some of their design work, some pinups in here. I did the back cover. I also, as my side job, I designed, so I did Famous Monsters Chronicles also, which Basil Gogos cover. I don't know if you're familiar with him.
Yeah, that's awesome.
This was the last cover he actually did for publication before he passed away.
Really? Yeah. Wow, that's really interesting.
So yeah, that's about what I do. I got, like I said, 3 issues out.
So that's Margot, everybody. And where can people find you? Do you have an outlet?
MargotComics.com.
That's simple. All right, thanks, Jim. Nice meeting you. Have a great time.
Yeah.
Hey guys, Mike here again with Eric and Wilson. How's it going today, guys?
Going pretty well.
Yeah, so far so good. So, I mean, it's just started, so we're awake and we're here.
You had the caffeine, you're ready to go and talk to people. So what do we got going on here? You want to give us a description of what books you're doing? And
Okay, we're Section 8 Comics. We're a comic book studio. Although we've worked for other comic book companies, I've worked for Marvel and DC. Eric done some work for independent comic book companies. At the end of the day, we don't own any of those characters. So even though I still freelance and do stuff from sketch cards, from Topps, Random House, very different companies, I wanted to do my own books. I knew Eric wanted to do that as well, and we decided, why not make our own books? Yes, it's hard to do comics, but it's not that hard. So in a sense, it's like...
Did you hear that? It's not that hard, Chris. We can do it.
It can be done. People can do it.
The real problem behind starting out is you have to say, I'm going to do this, and then actually do it.
You have to commit.
Yeah, a lot of times, when it comes to getting something off the ground, everybody stays in that idea phase. It's like that joke. It's like, one day we'll open a bar. You're never opening a bar unless you actually start looking into information.
Everybody's had that conversation.
Yeah,
I know. Yeah.
You need to actually do the work and the legwork. And once you see how crazy it is to do, then you start going, maybe I don't want to do this, maybe I do. And if you do want to do it, you're crazy. Which is part of the reason why our name is Section 8. Section 8 is actually, in the military, you get out on Section 8 means you are too crazy for the Army.
So it makes sense. Yeah, you guys are just too crazy, and now you're here, and here you are. So what do we got? What's the hookup here? Is this one that's on display? What is that?
I wrote that. The hookup is a slice of life story. It's basically being in your early 20s, what's called dating, trying to hook up, and stuff like that. We found this artist named April Diaz. She pencils it and inks it. Wilson here colors it. I write it. And it's kind of... It's very funny, in my opinion, and other people come like, oh, I remember doing this.
Yeah, it's relatable, right? Yeah. Awesome. And what else do we have here? What do we got going on?
The next book we have is Team Kaiju, and it's basically, I took my love of the Kaiju monster... Kaiju monsters.
Like old school Godzilla stuff.
Exactly. So I took my love for that, my love for robots, and I combined them. So I got cyborgs that fight monsters.
Sold. That's awesome.
Exactly. So one of the things I did was basically put together this book, and this was kind of my first step into independent publishing. When I brought Eric along, it's because me as an artist, I like 22 pages of the character putting his costume on and wondering, why am I doing this? Eric was able to take that and put it into 2 pages, and I think it works a whole lot better.
You don't need 22 pages of that.
Exactly. As an artist, I'm thinking all these things.
Like, yeah, it looks pretty, but like, what's cool? Like, you do an entire book of that, and people can be like, I just watched somebody get dressed. And not even the naughty bits. It's just like,
I did that this morning. Why do I have to read about it?
Exactly. So the great thing about comics, it is a collaboration, so I don't have to do it all myself. So Eric's doing the writing. I'm doing the penciling. A friend of mine who's in the industry, Rich Parada, did the inking. And the coloring was done by myself. And the lettering was done by Dave Sharp, who's lettered almost every Marvel comic book. So it's I've made enough friends in the industry that I'm able to give out the work so I don't have to do it all myself. And that was the thing. So we collaborated together to make a bunch of these books. So the next title we have is Star's Edge. This is basically...
It's a one-shot, and I would basically say it's a sci-fi gladiator story. A kid from New York just gets kidnapped and forced to fight in an arena in space. They do experiments on him to enhance him and stuff like that.
Awesome.
And then the whole story is just about him wanting to go home. It's like, I got to fight for you, I got to kill for you. I don't want to do this, I want to go home.
I got really real for a second there. I was like, oh, killing, yeah. And then he's like, no, he just wants to go home. And I'm like, oh, wow, that's sad.
The thing is that was because he's a kid looking to go into med school and to save lives, and he's been forced to fight and kill and stuff like that. It's like, I don't want to do this. Yeah.
Very cool.
And this is another example of people that we know in the industry. So it's penciled by Gene DeSico.
Okay.
It's inked by myself. The cover is colored by Tom Chu. Again, all of these guys all worked for Marvel one time or another.
Very cool.
The next book we have is Dark Bloods. Now, Dark Bloods was penciled by Darren Douglas, who worked for me at Marvel. He started off as an intern, went off to do a ton of his own stuff, and then we called them back to ask, hey, would you mind penciling this book?
So cool.
So he penciled it, I inked it, my brother Lawrence Hansen did the coloring, and I lettered it myself. So it's basically bringing people together that we want to work with.
Yeah, that's awesome. You get to pick and choose, right? Yeah,
exactly. And that's I think the best part about it is we're having fun doing it because it's not only our friends working with us, but talented people that we know from the industry.
That's so cool.
Book, Gaidojin, which is written by Mark Rivera,
my brother.
Eric's brother, penciled by Nadir Ballin, who also one time has interned for me at Marvel. He's worked for many indie companies. I think Devil's Due. I don't know if he did G.I. Joe when Devil's Due had the license.
And somebody else I can't remember. But yeah, he's worked for a bunch of indie guys, and it's our newest and most beautiful book. Every year, every time we do a book, we get better at it.
Get more experience, right?
Yeah, exactly. And the books look so much better. He penciled, he inked it. Tom Chu, as I mentioned before, is a colorist on it. And the great thing about this book, I only had to letter it, so I didn't have to put as much work into it.
Fantastic.
Actually, this book was funded by Indiegogo, so we got really lucky.
Really cool. That's awesome.
So this way here, it also helped generate more interest in the book. Our last book is, funny enough, our very
Ninja Mouse.
Ninja Mouse. Ninja Mouse actually started as one of those 24-hour comic books.
Okay.
So a few years ago, I went to this comic book shop. We set up a space for me to sit down and work, and for those 24 hours, I attempted to do 22 pages of this book. So it's a cartoon mouse because they're easier to draw.
Okay.
I took every shortcut I've ever learned in the comic book industry. So there's a lot of splash pages. He's on an island. So there's just a horizon line and the island to draw.
Not a lot of characters to draw, right?
Right, exactly. So he's a ninja, so he doesn't speak, so I didn't have to add any words to it. And we colored it later on, and this is technically our first Section 8 comic book.
That's where it all started.
Where we realized, we've had this book sitting in the drawer. Why not do something with it? Why not print it out? So I had colored it up, and we printed it out. It gets a great response from the kids because it's an easy-to-read book. It's a cartoon mouse. And if we were going to base our empire on a cartoon mouse, it's been done before.
Yeah, it's been done before. I think it's working out pretty well.
Exactly.
So, guys, this is awesome. Thanks so much. Where can people find you? Do you have a Section 8 website?
Our website is the8spot.com. Very simple. THE8spot.com. It leads to all our different things. We actually have a section for our YouTube videos. We have a section for our comic books. Anything that we're working on, you can see there.
Very cool. So, Eric, nice meeting you. Wilson, nice meeting you. Thanks for doing the interview, guys. Hey guys, Mike, Fortunes of Comic News here again with Ian Nichols. He's an artist on a variety of books. We're just going to have him give a quick description. How's it going today, Ian?
It's going great. Yeah.
How's the con so far? Were you here yesterday?
Yeah, I was. And I'd never been to Albany before, and everybody's really polite and nice, so it's really cool.
Awesome. Where are you from?
I live in Boston.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm over in Pittsfield, so I'm over in Massachusetts too. So you want to give us a quick rundown of what you got here for a variety of books?
Sure. Yeah. The big release for Albany today is actually a book called Argonauts. The characters were featured on the poster and the promo stuff, and I did the interior artwork. It was written with by Rich Woodall, and Richard Case down the way did the cover. He's worked on Doom Patrol, Spider-Man, all kinds of great books, and that's the big release, but I've also got like The Tick and Ninja Turtles and other books I've worked on. So.
Awesome. Can you give us a quick rundown of what Argonauts is? Or
Yeah, Argonauts, if you're not familiar with the name itself, like there's a Greek mythology of Jason and the Argonauts, and what we did was we took those characters, we tweaked them a little bit, and it's in outer space, and they go on an adventure. In this one, they go to a prison planet of Crete, if you know the island of Crete in Greek mythology, and they have to bust out one of their buddies that's there.
Awesome. Well, I'm definitely sold. For anybody who wants to see the cover, it's Argonauts. Check it out. Ian Nichols. Thanks for doing the interview, man.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Hey, Chris from Forge Comic News here. I'm with Mike.
Ming Chen.
Ming Chen.
Mike Zapsik. Wow.
I already fucked this up.
That was amazing.
I'm sorry. Is this kind of the theme? It's kind of the theme of the show.
So we got these guys from I Sell Comics and, of course, Comic Book Men. So how's the con going, guys?
So far, so good. Albany treating us very well. Yes, Albany, Troy, the whole area up here. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a great area. So how's the show going so far?
Show is going good. We're in our 7th season. We have one more episode left to air this weekend, and then
it's the big one.
It's the big one. Yeah, just a little teaser here. We go up to Funko headquarters up in Everett, Washington, and they unveil the Comic Book Man pop figures. Insane.
Oh, that's awesome. How does it feel to have a pop figure of yourself now?
It's good. It feels good that, somewhere out there in a comic book store or, at a con, that there's a Mike Zapsik pop figure next to Darth Vader or
Marty McFly. That's why I wore this. So,
what Mike, you just jump ship?
I just jumped ship, yeah. I'm with the Coast Guard Youth Auxiliary. Come on.
Yeah, but
so in the bedroom somewhere, there's a Mike Zapsik pop figure sitting on bed.
Oh, we haven't heard that one before. We're waiting how long it took for some clever woman or man, we make no judgments, to turn Brian Johnson into a sex toy.
I'm sure it's happened
in real life. Never happened in real life.
Well, he did just get married, so possibly.
Yeah, that's a marriage in name only, I'm sure. Brian doesn't trim his beard, but he's got other beards that he's got to worry about.
So you guys had a long-running comic book podcast, I Sell Comics. You guys do it weekly. Do you want to pitch that to my viewers in case any of them don't listen?
Yeah, look it up on iTunes. It's called I Sell Comics. It's on Kevin's Smodcast Network. We chronicle the best in comics that come out every week.
That we like.
And we talk a lot about up to the second pop culture news and our own spin and opinions on them. And 295 episodes. We're almost at 300. So
here's my pitch for you. What the hell is wrong with you? Why aren't you listening to I Sell Comics? Are you dense? Come on.
It's a way to get more listeners, Mike. Insult them.
Yeah, exactly.
Good job,
Mike. Make them think that they're stupid if they don't listen. You're stupid if you don't listen. So
yeah, if you like Force Comic News, you'll love I Sell Comics. We steal a lot from them.
Oh,
but, so also, one last thing. You just opened a podcast studio in New Jersey. How's that going?
It's going great. It's called A Shared Universe Podcast Studio. Look us up at ashareduniverse.com. It's a recording studio specifically geared for podcasters. Very new concept, but as we discovered, like you gentlemen, everybody wants to podcast.
Yeah, and it's pretty popular. We're actually already a little too big for our britches. Our offices are getting to be a little too small for our needs. So come and watch us grow. Hey, didn't that sound good?
Yeah, it's almost like you've done this before.
It's almost like an NBC after-school special.
Well, guys, thanks for being on. We really appreciate it, and hope the show continues on for however many more seasons you want.
Thanks. However many more?
Yeah, however many more you need. Thanks again.
100. Thank you, guys.
Thanks so much.
Hey guys, Mike, Fortress of Comic News. I'm with Jay Kennedy. How's it going today, Jay?
Hey, good. How are you guys doing?
Great. We're doing great. So it looks like you got some art here to show us. Is there any couple books you want to talk about? You want to talk about The Sleeplessness?
Yeah, sure.
Or Argonauts. We saw Argonauts earlier today, so let's talk about that.
I colored this one. This is No. It's pretty awesome and is well worth the read. It's by art by Ian Nichols and story by Rich Woodall, which is awesome as it is. And I just tried not to screw up the colors on it.
And what do you have over here? Is this Sleeplessness? Is this a horror comic?
This is my own book. It's a horror anthology, and it's available all over the Northeast. It's pretty good. But again, it's just it's a little horror story that I do myself.
Okay. Awesome. Well, thanks for showing off your stuff. Andy's an Iron Maiden fan, which is that's awesome.
Yeah, right.
So thanks, dude. I appreciate it. Nice meeting you.
Man.
Yep. Hey guys, Mike here, Fortress of Comic News again. I'm here with Jen and John. They made their names really easy for me. John does some stuff for Upper Deck, Cryptozoic, and he's got some art to show off. How are you guys doing today?
Good, how are you?
So you said you do the heavy lifting.
Yes, I do.
And he does the art.
Yes.
Okay, so you just get to carry all this stuff around, and that's an important job to have, though, right?
I always say I draw, and she tells me if it's good or not.
That's a pretty important job to have, though. So is there anything you want to show off today, or what do you got going on here?
Today I got a lot of sketch cards.
Okay. I see there's one of Freddy down here. I'm going to show this to the camera. Let me zoom in here, if you guys can see this. I don't know how close I have to get for the camera, so we'll just do that.
I got sketch cards, prints.
Awesome, a lot of horror stuff. I have to show off this. I'm a huge 60s Batman fan, everybody knows, so there's a sketch cover here with 60s Batman that I will be purchasing. I didn't have to do it to get the interview, I swear. They wanted to do the interview either way. But yeah, I hope you guys have a great con, have a great weekend, and thanks for doing this quick interview.
No problem, thank you.
Thanks.
Hey, Chris here from the Fortress Comic News. I'm here with Josh.
Hey, how are you?
Nice to meet you, man.
Likewise.
And he's got some really cool art prints here. He's doing a really cool thing with kind of this trading card idea or playing card idea.
Yeah.
So why don't you explain a little bit what you got going on?
Well, long story short, my work is pretty much it's mixed media. It's pencil and ink first, and then I do digital colors, and my backgrounds are actually tea stains. I started doing this just because I'm left-handed, and I have to rotate the paper so I don't smudge it as much. And it started out with a couple of basic pieces like Batman and Joker and Deadpool and Deathstroke, like two sides of the same coin kind of deal, and it just kind of took off. Lately, I've been trying to focus on like more of the dichotomies of like characters with their good and evils, or like their partners and things like that.
Well, you got me with the Mega Man ones.
Well, I appreciate it.
So I'm down with that.
I really like throwing in Easter eggs, and so like for example with the X and Zero, if you look next to their feet, they actually have bits of the first armor that you collect as you go through the game.
That's awesome.
With Mega Man, you've got the original Overlords as well as the Power Balls and things like that. Just little remnants of them, just because it's like, hey, you got to play a game. You can't just here's a generic fan art.
Yeah. Well, you're doing some really cool stuff. If people want to find you online, is there a place they can find you?
Well, thank you for asking. Yeah, I'm on pretty much every major social media outlet. You can find me at Art of Josh Lyman, Lyman. And that's pretty much, you just type that in and it brings me up.
All right, cool. Thanks for talking with us.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you guys for watching.
And we're back.
Hey, wow, what a ride. Yeah, so as far as cons go, I thought it was pretty good. Smaller, very quaint, but then it gets, it got packed quick,
Yeah.
Couldn't even, it's almost like New York Comic Con where you can't move. So Chris and I went in early. A lot of the videos you see are taken early in the day before like even people got there. We're getting old when we're like, oh God, there's too many people here. We got to go. Yes, I thought it was cool. I'll definitely be back. Just for being so close to me that I thought it was a great experience. They had some cool names there. Freddy Krueger had a huge line. It's good to see people coming out and supporting these people, and supporting comic books is always cool to see.
Yeah. And thanks to Alternate Reality for bringing us in again. We appreciate it. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, they put on some great events. They do the Rhode Island Comic Con, they do Comic Con at Mohegan Sun, and they're just high class individuals. They reach out to us to do these press things, and couldn't be more fortunate for them to keep inviting us out. So big thanks to them.
And thanks to all the creators. All of them are a lot of fun. I think it was, I got their names written down here. Jim Whiting, who was really cool, had a cool book, and was just like, here guys, take some copies and talk about the show. And
it's very businessman like. If you want to get on our good side, because we don't charge artists and writers to be on the show to promote them. The guy was like, wow, free publicity. Well, here you guys go. He knew that if he gave us those comics, we would read them for free. And then we'd even review them and give him some more publicity. So it was very businessman of him, and it was a good move, I think.
It was even better considering I was reaching in my pocket for my money to buy a comic.
Yeah, to buy many things. Yeah. I think he knew that too. And that was high class guy, man.
And everyone else. I mean, Ian Nicholas was really cool to talk to. He's the first guy we talked to. Ming and Mike from Comic Book Men, they were so much fun to talk to.
Yeah.
We chilled with them for a while and just sat there and shot the shit with them. Everyone there was a lot of fun. I can't wait for the next con we do now. Yeah, and it's Chris and I always approach this. We're always so nervous to do like live standing interviews, but when it comes down to it, most of the people we approach are just excited to talk about what they're doing. Yeah.
Because I mean, they get people coming through the tables and stuff, but then like we're putting their stuff out there for them. It's like, if they're taking the time and effort to set up a table and sit there and talk with people, they want to hear they want their voice to be heard. And it went very well. I was excited at how it came out. Yeah. Okay, so comics. What are you reading?
Let's see. I got a nice stack here for you.
Let me go to my list here. I will talk about Green Lantern Earth 1. I didn't read just a comic last week. I found the time to read a whole trade.
Aren't you special?
Well, actually, it was over Easter. I bought it and I read it. I laid on the couch for like 3 hours and read it on my phone on Comixology. Because now you don't even have to get up off the couch to go buy comics. The Earth 1, if people don't know, we talked about it before. It's an installment by DC, where it's almost like a new origin story of the iconic characters in DC. Like Teen Titans have one, Wonder Woman has one, Batman has one, Superman has one, and now the new one is Green Lantern. This is a different iteration of Green Lantern. It's more futuristic, of where Green Lantern is always a fighter pilot, and now he's like he pilots a spacecraft to go mine lunar colonies to find like raw materials. And he doesn't really, the ring doesn't really choose him. He kind of just grabs it and it's like, oh, it works for me. They don't get into the whole willpower thing yet. It's a good origin story. I highly recommend it if you like Green Lantern. If you like space, sci-fi stuff, I would say it had almost like a Space Odyssey vibe, 2001 Space Odyssey. Almost like it was really good. It was done really well. I can almost see this being as like, if they ever rebooted Green Lantern, like gave him his own movie, this is how you keep it interesting, I think. Make it a sci-fi movie. Why not? What could go wrong? The perspective of this book is like, the lanterns have been around for a while. They're kind of like an old way of looking at things. And they haven't been like an organization for a while. Like they haven't been grouped up to protect their sectors. But yeah, it was really good. I focused on the Manhunters, which you read any Green Lantern book now, it's going to be a focus on Sinestro every time. It's like, I feel like it's either Sinestro, Black Hand, and then back to Sinestro. This one focused on the Manhunters and why they were built. And it's pretty interesting. You find out as the plot develops. It's pretty cool. And then you get a little tease of what's to come next, which is always good. Yeah, I really liked it. I read Batman this week. Batman, what number? Checking the number here. It was 44. Yeah. Batman 44. It was all about Catwoman finding a dress. She kind of slips away at night and she's like looking for a dress. She goes to steal a dress. But as she's stealing it, they go through the iterations of how every time Batman and Catwoman have met up and they're always in different costumes. So it goes like each panel goes through their different costumes and like there's like this deeper conversation happening of like, why do we put these costumes? Like what really changes besides the costume every time we see each other? It was really good. Superman 44 was awesome. You got to see this huge fight in Bizarro World with all the versions of Bizarros, like anyone you could think of. Like the Legion of Doom was Bizarroized, which is awesome. the thing with Bizarro is it always gets confusing trying to read it and be like, okay, Superman's having a conversation with Bizarro. Bizarro is saying the opposite of what he actually means. Superman is saying what he actually means, but then Superman tries to talk to Bizarro sometimes, so he's saying the opposite of what he means. So it's like it's really confusing. Yeah, so that's all I got to this week. I also had The White Knight came out and The Walking Dead. Yeah, that's all I had. Last week I had Doomsday Clock #4. Do you want to talk about that? You read that?
I did.
It's pretty good. We got the whole origin of Rorschach. I thought it was pretty interesting.
Yeah, it made it make sense as to why we have a new Rorschach, which I was hoping they would hint on at least.
Yeah, he's he's a mentally unstable individual. It's cool to see like what happened, that he was kind of as the world ended or whatever, he kind of just lost his mind. And was there anything else significant about the issue besides the origin?
And they talked about what happened after the event and why we're at where we're at. Ozymandias is now on the run, or was on the run when we met him.
Yeah.
That people started to go crazy from the monster, and they found out it was Ozymandias, and it basically set the stage to move the story forward.
Yeah. So now we're just waiting to see what's going to happen next. Dark Knight Metal #6 finally finished up.
Shit.
It was pretty crazy. Lots of crazy stuff happening. It was metal, that's for sure.
Before you move forward, huge spoilers for DC Metal, or Dark Knight's Metal, and huge spoilers for like the future of DC. Yeah. So if you do not want to hear this, leave now.
Long story short, who knew we were going to get... I mean, this is where all the new Justice League books are coming from. They're like... This basically... this is like the reboot of Justice League. Like, they were kind of like, okay... how are we going to prepare for crazy... Because to me, it seemed like during the story, they weren't really all in sync with each other until now. Like, they know they need to form a Justice League. And this is the tone we're getting, is the Scott Snyder Justice League. Like, this... It made sense that this was just like an adventure that they had together, right? Like, this is how all the story arcs are going to be now. But it was awesome. I mean, it had a cool ending where, like, the metal that saved them, they were all wearing as, like, armor, like the Justice League was. That was really cool to see. Yeah. Yeah, I think we're getting 4 Justice League books, right?
Yeah, but I think you buried the lead there. This book should have been called Dark Knight's Metal Crisis.
Yeah, yeah.
Because we now have pre-Crisis DC Universe back.
Yep.
So the entire multiverse is back. Elseworlds are back. We had a moment where the Dark Knight Batman, the Vampire Batman,
yes,
the Gaslight Batman.
Yeah, they show up from the multiverse, and who they bring to fight everybody else is all the Batman. So you have this awesome splash panel like Dark Knight Returns Batman, Gaslight Batman. Dude, that part was... I can't believe I forgot about that part.
Yeah, and this set up everything. So this explained where the New Age of Heroes came from. So they're in the multiverse somewhere.
Yep.
This explained why we're getting all these Elseworld stories moving forward. It explained everything.
Yeah.
The Justice League part was like, it's weird that you picked that out in my eyes because that was such a tiny part of what happened.
Yeah.
And it was just crazy. I can't believe they stuck the landing, but they did. And it was fantastic.
Yeah, it was really good. It's definitely a book that I'm going to have to go back and read a few more times because there's a lot going on in it.
Yeah, that might be one I have to pick up and trade.
Yeah, I don't think... it's... I didn't think it was going to be as important as it was, I guess. I guess I didn't realize the scope of how important for like the whole DC brand moving forward. I didn't know how much of an influence it had.
Yeah.
So it was really good. Hit Girl #2. That book's still really good. I mean, it's Mark Miller's Hit Girl again, in a new light. This girl is basically stealing from the rich and giving to the poor, but they're rich bad people. Saga #50 was good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So you want to talk about Saga 50?
Yeah, let me pull it out of my pile here. So,
I got it somewhere here.
Yeah. So yeah, that first couple pages were surprise.
Yeah.
Say at least.
Yep.
And we got kind of a glimpse into their relationship and how well it's going at this point in the story. And then we got a glimpse into what was it Sir Robot, King Robot, or whatever the hell his name is.
Yeah. Prince Robot.
Prince Robot. We got a glimpse into what he's doing moving forward with these two reporters.
Yeah, he's going to give his story and change his life, apparently.
Yeah. And then the one woman was training. I'm so bad with names. Hazel. And training her to kind of be a fighter and learn all this stuff.
Yeah, that's pretty cool to see her spells.
And then we got another awesome moment with Gus, and I fucking love Gus. There's actually a Gus plush coming out, and I'm seriously considering
Gus Plus?
Yeah.
Gus plush. Wow.
Yeah, I can't wait. Gosh. But Saga's fantastic.
Yeah, it's really good. Every issue is just so good. I can't believe we don't have a TV show yet. Like, come on, what are they waiting for? Yeah, I got Bloodborne 2 came out. I gotta read up on that. And I think that was about it for me.
Okay. I Hate Fairyland number 18. So Claudia, the queen of Fairyland, who died back like issue 6 or 7, she's back and she's angry, and she's trying to destroy all of Fairyland now. So the devil forced Gertrude out of hell, but she still doesn't come back to Fairyland. So now everyone's trying to find Gertrude to kill Claudia again, and it's just as fucked up and awesome as it's always been. I picked up New Age of Heroes Curse of Brimstone, and it was kind of okay. It was like a Ghost Rider-y kind of story where this kid from a town that's gone to shit, and he makes a deal with this guy, and he becomes Brimstone.
Oh, okay.
Didn't really catch me, and especially like if you're gonna do Ghost Rider, you're not gonna have a motorcycle. Like, what's the point?
Yeah, come on.
Walking Dead number 178. You haven't read it, but it was really awesome, and the ending is it's going to lead to some conflict. Surprise, right? Terrifics number 2. Terrifics are awesome. They get out of this other universe, and they realize that there's something out of their control that's from that universe that is keeping them together. So they are stuck together as a team. Which is kind of a cool dynamic, because instead of being a team that wants to be together, they're a team that has to be together.
Yeah, they have to. That's pretty crazy.
And then I got Sonic the Hedgehog number 1, and I liked it. It was, a lot of what the Archie Sonic the Hedgehog was. It's the same creative team from the Archie Sonic the Hedgehog. Catches you up, lets you know who all the players are if you didn't know already.
Who's the writer?
And Ian Flynn.
Yeah. Hey, all right.
And we don't know who the villain is yet, although they strongly hint that it's Dr. Eggman. Surprise, surprise. And
I can imagine. Can imagine.
So, it was a lot of fun. And we're going to have the first storyline done pretty quick, because it's weekly for the first month. And after that, it's going to monthly. But suggest it to anyone that likes Sonic the Hedgehog and likes kind of all ages stories.
Awesome.
That was everything for me. So, Mike, where can everybody find you on the interwebs?
They can find me at Fortress Ricker on the Twitter. I've been getting quite a few follows, sharing some cool stuff. Yeah, Fortress Ricker.
It's
easy enough. Wow.
So you can find me on Instagram at Fortress News Chris, and on Twitter at Fortress Chris. And follow the show on Twitter at FCN_official to keep up with everything we're doing. Everything from YouTube to the podcast to the website and so on and so forth. And then everything is also on FortressComicNews.com. And if you are so inclined, Patreon.com/FortressComicNews. And that is everything, I believe. So
stay safe, everyone. Stay vigilant.
I am the goddamn Batman. Bye, everybody.
See ya.